What is up, all of my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. I'm the Late Night Frights horror leader, the Jason Sloan or Jordan, back here to do another video for you. And as always, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. Last week we did a theme, so obviously this week we are doing horror battles. And before I dive in and show you the two films that I've chose to battle, I just want to thank Mike or Horror Ninja for filling in for me on Monday. As you guys know, that is my usual day. I don't do Saturdays, but I was unable to make my video on Monday, so he filled in for me and we decided to switch days. So next week we'll be back on schedule and I will be on Monday and he will be on Saturday. So I just wanted to take time out of this video to thank him for filling in for me. I was just unable to do it. But anyway, guys, it's time to dive into, and show you the two films that I'm going to be battling this week. And the two horror films that I chose to battle is Cabin Fever versus Bug. Now, I don't own the DVD or Blu-ray to the film Bug. I only own the Blu-ray for Cabin Fever, but I have seen Bug many times. So, yeah, guys, without further ado, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to start off by reviewing Cabin Fever and then move to Bug. So, Cabin Fever was made in 2003. This is a film directed by Eli Roth, who is a director that I respect because he feels like, he is a horror fan. It feels like he makes films, it's by horror fans, for horror fans. And he's just a good director overall. There's some films I don't like that he's done, but, there is a few like Cabin Fever that I do really enjoy. One of his earlier films. Now, this is a film that stars Ryder Strong, Serena Vincent, Joey Kern, and the basic plot around this one follows a group of young adults, I guess you could say, basically kids just wanting to have a fun time, going out into the woods, going out to this remote cabin, trying to have a good time. Well, while they're down there, one of the kids runs into this homeless man who is very, very sick, carrying a deadly virus, a deadly disease. And some shit goes down. He accidentally shoots this man, and this man comes back for to get help. And basically once he sees that it's a guy who shot him, they're staying in this cabin. He wants revenge, so he tries to get in their car. It doesn't work, and they end up setting him on fire, where he ultimately dies in the river or in the lake. He ultimately dies in the lake. Now that's basically what happens, just these kids going out to this cabin to have a good time, much like a lot of other horror films. I mean, this takes away from many other films, like Evil Dead, although it's, not exactly like Evil Dead. You could definitely see where they took elements from the Evil Dead. So that happens. A very, very sick man dies in the lake, and it spreads in the water, which these kids are unaware of that when they drink the water. And slowly, people start to get sick, and the story really progresses from there. I don't want to say too much more. I'm not going to spoil, what happens to these characters, but, things escalate very quickly. I just thought it was a well-done horror film. I mean, the effects were good, all the practical effects, the blood looks good. The acting was really good. The thing about the acting to me is this, what people would do in these kinds of situations. There's one character who even gets so scared and so upset and paranoid that he actually leaves the group, takes beer with him, just goes off on his own, and I feel like people would be doing that. They wouldn't just be, staying put and waiting for the virus to come to them. They're going to leave before it actually spreads. And, things like that happen. I like the acting from Ryder Strong, who was in Boy Meets World and, other films as well. I thought he did a good job, just very stupid. A lot of these characters very, very stupid. But he had a little thing between this female actor, or this female in the story. I forgot her name, and I apologize for that. But he had a little fling with her, and that was cool to see. It was just a fun horror flick. I mean, it's nothing fantastic. I mean, I do enjoy it, but I don't think it's obviously not Oscar-worthy. I think it's just a fun horror film, and I think that's what Eli Roth was, pulling for, and I think that's mainly what he goes for with most of his films anyway. Joey Kern did a good job. They all did good. The Serena Vincent had a interesting character and a very interesting kill. Something happens there. But, yeah, fun film, kind of cheesy. I like the dialogue. I really like the dialogue. Some things that are said. Faced by Eli Roth. Eli Roth actually makes an appearance in this film 2 or 3 times, I believe twice that I counted. Little small, like one scene appearances, but they're so hilarious each time that he makes an appearance in the film. But yeah, Cabin Fever, everyone's seen it. So I mean, well, most people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It may not be your cup of tea, but I would recommend giving it a watch at least. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it each time that I watch it. And yeah, that is my review over Cabin. Okay, so now I'm going to move on and review Bug, which was made in 2006. And this one is very interesting. It's a lot different than Cabin Fever, but in many ways it's the same with its isolation and paranoia that sets in both films. And this one is starring Ashley Judd, Michael Shannon, and Harry Connick Jr., and it basically follows Ashley Judd's character, who is this waitress. She is a broken woman. I mean, she's broken down mentally and physically for, with past events that's happened to her. One very sad thing that she cannot seem to get over. She's constantly living in fear of her ex-husband, who is now in prison. She's afraid that he's going to get paroled and come back and, try to beat on her like he used to. And like she's going to fall into this same trap over and over again, like she can never escape it. When she soon meets Michael Shannon's character, who is this drifter. He's a loner, not really understood, kind of, got this mystery about him. She meets him and realizes that he is also physically and mentally damaged, and they start a relationship in a hotel room. Basically, they're in one hotel room. That is basically the setting throughout this entire film. And soon she realizes he has a little too much. She realizes he has a little too much baggage. He was in the military, and he starts acting really paranoid. He hears like helicopters outside, and gets really scared about that. And he soon starts to see bugs in the room, and bugs, he says, that are so small that she can't even see them. And it's clear there's something wrong with this guy, and it kind of goes deeper and deeper into that story until she herself finally believes him. And crazy paranoia sets in both characters. They think they're being eaten alive by bugs. He says that the military experimented on him, and just tons of craziness happens, and it kind of escalates from there. People see this. Her friend, is basically worried about her because of everything that she's going on with this, everything that is going on with her with this guy. And yeah, that is, without spoiling too much, that's all I can say about it. It escalates very quickly. And it's a film very much about isolation and paranoia, and following Michael Shannon's character primarily, and then leaking onto Ashley Judd's character, showing that even normal, people, even normal people who are, she's the same person. She's been through a lot, but she is in no way a crazy person. Can be sunk down to his level just to cling on to something, to cling on to this relationship. She can be, sunk down to his level and, believe whatever's going on with him, which was really cool to see that, she wanted to hold on to him because he is as emotionally damaged as she is. So yeah, really good film. I really enjoyed it. I love it feels like a claustrophobic, it feels like they're in this room the entire movie in this small boxed window, and the way that it was shot was really, really awesome. I really enjoyed the film, very interesting, and yeah, I would recommend checking it out. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but if you like anything I've said about it, if you're a fan of like movies that have crazy moments and paranoia and isolation sets in, you're really going to like Bug as well as Cabin Fever. So yeah. So now that I have reviewed both films, it is time to battle them to the death. Okay, so my usual round one is kills, but seeing as Bug isn't a film based around kills or a body count, I've decided to change round one for this battle only to isolation and paranoia. So compared to Cabin Fever or Bug, which film do I think had a better paranoia feel to it, and was better isolated and had that just really feeling, that feeling of alone and being isolated in one place. As good as Cabin Fever did it, I would have to say that Bug did it a little bit better, like I said, with the claustrophobic shots and really making you feel like you were in that room, that nasty room with them. So yeah, I'm going to give the first round to Bug. Okay, round two, story and originality. Which film do I think had a better story and was more original? Now, without a doubt, I'm going to have to go with Cabin Fever. I think I was more intrigued and interested in this story, and I thought it was more, it was just a fun film, very enjoyable and entertaining. And yeah, I mean, also it was made 3 years before Bug, so yeah, I think it was really one of the first times that this story had been done, this infection or disease spreading, and that feeling of isolation out in the woods with nowhere to go, and who's got this disease, who is going to get it, and how are we going to survive. So I think Eli Roth executed that perfectly in this film, and yeah, so I'm going to have to give round 2 to Cabin Fever. Okay, moving on to round 3, Blood, Guts, and Gore. Which film do I think had better blood, guts, and gore? The effects in Bug were really cool, with the digging in their skin, how they constantly scratch their skin, and it was disgusting, really. And there's one scene where someone pulls their teeth out, and that was pretty messed up and pretty crazy. But as far as ongoing effects, practical effects, blood, I'm gonna go with Cabin Fever. Yeah, I mean, I just think it had better practical effects and some really gory scenes, and yeah, so Cabin Fever takes round 3. Okay, so the fourth and final round, personal enjoyment and replayability. Which film do I personally enjoy more, and which film would I pop in right now and watch? And once again, guys, I'm going to have to go with Cabin Fever. I think it was, like I said, more fun and entertaining. And, yeah, just a really good horror flick overall. Fun teen film. I mean, like I said, they're young adults or teens going out into the woods. And it had some likable characters in it. Some not so likable, but, some characters that you really didn't want to die. And, that's always good in a film, to have you like the characters. And some characters were major douchebags, and yeah, but overall it's a fun film, and that's why it came out on top. Cabin Fever has won. It has, won this horror battle. It's taken the cake. It is victorious. It has come out on top. And, Bug is a really good film, too. I'm not putting it down just because it didn't win this battle. I like, Cabin Fever a little bit more than Bug. But I would say definitely check out both films if you love. This is, a really good movie. A lot of blood, a lot of guts, a lot of gore. But a really good story behind it, good acting, good direction, and Bug is that way too. Very good isolation and paranoia feel to it. So I would say check out both films. So thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry, getting tongue tied here, guys. I do apologize for that. It's been a long day and I'm very tired. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this horror battle. Comment down below. Tell me which film you prefer. I'm really curious to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on both of these films. I'm the Jay Sloan. You just watched Late Night Frights. Stay tuned next week, guys. I'll be seeing you on Monday on my regular day, like I said. We'll be going back to our old schedule next week. And we have a really good theme planned next week, so stay tuned for that. You just watched Late Night Frights. Comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.